Dripping paint, dripping paint. There ain't no stains on me. Dripping paint, dripping paint. There ain't no stains on me. Dripping paint, dripping paint. There ain't no stains on me. Fresh and clean, rocking my creative jeans.
Hey, he's laughing already. You know what, my boy? Hey, I'm to the talent. Abstract Carter. Man, we hear kids are out of school today, so you're gonna hear a lot of bumping, a lot of crashing, and unexplained noises, which is why Abstract is laughing right off the rip, because they are doing construction upstairs. I don't know what the heck they doing up there, but it sounds like they having a grand old time. But today we want to talk about, in light of Black History Month, we want to talk about something that doesn't really get talked about here. And my boy Abstract kind of brought it up, and it made me think like, maybe we should talk about it, because I never really thought about it, but whether or not there should even be a Black History Month now that we're at this stage in the world. What you think, man?
My opinion on it is that maybe we don't actually need Black History Month because they whitewash everything anyway. So what we're learning is whitewashed in the first place. Like, they only want to teach us about Martin Luther King because, he wasn't a radical and wanted to go off and just go bomb a whole bunch of stuff or nothing like that. Then they teach us about the Malcolm X after he realized, not white people, but like, just realized that there was other countries with other colored people that actually got along with each other. It's kind of my point. Like, they don't teach us the Malcolm X before that because they don't want us to become radicals and be like, we want to fight against the system and all that other stuff. But I just don't think it's really no point, because I just watched a video too yesterday where they was asking when is Black History Month to like college students. And one of them was a white girl. She was like, she said November. That was funny to me. And then the four black kids they asked, two of them said March. One was like, I think February, March. And I was just like, well, hell, if we don't even know when it is, what do we have it for anyway?
Yeah, I guess that's a valid point. It's been a while since I've been in school, so I don't know what these schools are teaching its children, or what the curriculum is going to be with each school. I guess my viewpoint on it would be, I think it's the thought that counts. I agree with Abstract that it's going to be a whitewashed version of history, because let's face it, no one's going to tell you the bad parts. Like, if you are in a fight at school, you're not going to talk about when you got hit in the face or when the other person had the upper hand. You're only going to highlight your greatest moments in the fight. And that's kind of the same way in history. You're not going to highlight the parts where it's like, oh yeah, we were purposely trying to take over Native American land, or we brought Africans over and they kicked our butts, we lost, they got away, we had to go capture them again, or we went to this island, we couldn't conquer the island, and they've been free the whole time. Like, they're not going to tell you that stuff. They're not going to tell you about the things that were invented, but they couldn't put a patent on it, because Africans or slaves at that time really didn't have any rights, so you couldn't technically invent things. So the owner got credit for those inventions. That's not something they're going to teach you in school, because you want the highlights of what you've actually done. They may deem it not relevant to whatever the curriculum is. So I agree to that point, but at the same time, you want children, black children in particular, to at least learn something. To go through school and thinking you've done nothing or you haven't played any part at all. Everybody wants to be celebrated in some shape or fashion.
Right. Well, to the statement you just made, making it seem like showing that we actually did something, that doesn't mean we have to have a Black History Month still. They could just integrate that into regular school. Like, why is it only during February that we can only learn about Black history?
Oh, that's fair. That's fair. But look at the world that we live in right now.
And then, not even to mention, they gave us the shortest month of the year anyway.
Well, it was a week. It started out as a week, and it was in February, so that's why we got the month. Because they stretched it out from a week to a month. It just happened to be in February. I know, everything seems to just happen, right? It's like, police are fair. It just happens that, you black people are getting beat. Or it just happens that there's more of you in jail. Like,
right.
I get it. No, I really get it. But you know, that's really how it happened. It was already in February to begin with, and we only had a week.
I wouldn't even want that. I'm just
you
saying.
bring up a good point that yes, Black history should be integrated throughout the entire curriculum. But in Utah, they fought. In Utah, their school curriculum fought not to even have Black History Month to begin with because the students there just weren't interested. They could care less about Black history. But Black history is American history. So to your point, it should be included in American history, not just Black history. People talk about the division. Oh, there's so much division. If they say BET is dividing the BET, you're just dividing the country. You should. Well, if you integrated Black entertainment with regular entertainment on a regular basis, there wouldn't be a need for BET. The reason why there are HBCUs in the first place is because Blacks couldn't go to what we consider these white universities.
Man, that's a whole nother topic in itself.
So that's why they exist. And then even now, white people go to HBCUs all the time. As a matter of fact, they get scholarships as minorities to go to these schools. But the general public don't know that. So they think it's divisive when you have the HBCUs.
Right.
Which, to me, is just asinine. Like, you don't even investigate or do any research. You just blurt out things.
Again, that's another media thing, because the media just reports what they deem worthy of reporting. Cause,
true.
You know, whoever controls the media necessarily controls the narrative in the world to a degree because they control what is put out there and what we are able to see.
I mean, yeah.
Unless you actually go above and beyond and actually go look some of this stuff up yourself, which most people don't.
Nobody goes above and beyond because you look for information that supports your narrative.
Right.
So I had a conversation. I always have a conversation with people who are technically not racist, but they will say racist rhetoric because that's what they hear on Fox News or that's what they were taught in the parents' home. And so they'll just kind of regurgitate that and not do any research. Not to get too much off topic, but, you know, they're talking about if Black people just comply, they wouldn't die. Like, really? I mean, I think they were complying when they got on the boat, right? I mean, yeah, they complied on the boat. You know, they complied when they got off the boat. They complied when they got sold. They complied.
Oh, man.
They complied when they were picking cotton. They've been complying the whole time, you know? You're right. They've been complying the whole time. Like, you think about people.
Oh, man.
When you think about the people who stormed the Capitol, like, them dudes were not planning on complying at all. They done had, like, the little, the tear gas, the face mask. They had the whole armor suits. They had what the police had. Matter of fact, the police was in there. They was going to get what they want when they wanted. They was not complying with nothing. And then they had the audacity to say, hey, we're the real America. Y'all are the terrorists. The people in the Capitol, y'all the terrorists. Y'all work for us, which technically they do. But, you know, that's a privilege that people of color don't even take advantage of. Like, wait a minute, y'all work for us. See, when the police is killing you, nobody thinks about, wait a minute now, officers, Blue Lives Matter, you work for us. I'm not paying you to kill me. We ain't doing that. Like, nobody takes that perspective. Nobody even look at it.
Oh, shit. You know, you getting ready to die. That ain't probably not the number one thing that crossed your mind.
I mean, maybe not. You know, but if I'm paying somebody, I'm like, wait a minute, dude, I'm paying you. Wait a minute, you ain't not going to kill me and I'm paying you. See, people don't look at it that way. They think that certain people are just freeloaders off of the system and are not contributing to the system, therefore don't deserve any rights. But I think the society understands exactly where people of color reside. They know exactly what it is. That's why they can say, oh, well, they must have did something because the police wouldn't do anything to us. So they must have done something.
Yeah,
they had to do something. So you either have ignorance, you either have complete and utter ignorance toward the fact, or you have people who understand the position and is okay with it and make excuses for why the system is functioning the way it's functioning.
Right.
But I think that's part of the issue. I think all of that ties together, along with the Black History Month and why you only get a month.
Okay, I'm glad you tied it back in.
Yeah.
About to bring up, like, Yeah, hell on topic.
Well, no, it's still on topic because people feel like we gave you a month. And look, you're lucky. You're lucky.
Enough.
We're even talking about it. Which, if you look at the position, you got to look at it. And you hate to label, but since these are the labels that was created since before we were born,
right.
You have to look at things out of the lens of a older, kind of wealthy white male, or a white male that's empowered. A white male that's empowered, that's a high-ranking position. They don't have to give you the Black History Month. They don't have to allow you to have HBCUs. Remember, there was a time where things were segregated, and when the black community was doing well, when other communities weren't thriving, they just come in and burn your stuff down. So all you rioters and looters, you complain about rioting and looting. There's been rioting and looting that's been happening for more sinister reasons. So before you start checking other people, check your ancestors. Oh, I was going to say that. Like, check your ancestors' history. Before you start talking about other people rioting and looting and things like that. What you hear as a cry for help, you perceived it as riot and looting, but there were people that literally rioted and looted because they saw prosperity from another community that our society tried to hold back all this time. And it's like, you want to thrive in spite of what we're doing? You know what? We're going old school. Burn that thing down.
Take a knee, play up with your fist up. Man, our backs against the wall, the whole world's against us. Humanity's at war, which side on your own? I'm crossing through the battlefield, trying to